Regarding the proposed budget blueprint, we're here again with Mark Walker's District 6 office with some concerned constituents. This would be our 7th week coming to his office to ask him to have a public meeting so that we can stop doing this, because this is our only recourse to have any kind of conversation with staff in lieu of having a conversation in a public meeting with the congressman. This week we're going to start taking up the proposed blueprint from the administration, specifically talking about the EPA this week. The President's budget proposal includes cuts to many agencies and programs that will adversely affect the citizens of Congressional District 6, the state of North Carolina, and the United States. We oppose increased military spending that is focused on military buildup. We do support funding programs for the health of those in the military and their families. We strongly oppose any funding for a border wall with Mexico, which will cost citizens $1.5 billion in this budget year, with estimates to $50 billion by completion. While we are against the border wall in principle, we also would point out that the President promised the citizens of our country would not pay for it. There is little evidence to show that the wall would make our border and citizens more secure, and immigration from our southern neighbors is declining. This money would be better spent on the programs and departments the President seeks to defund. This week, we'd like to bring the Congressman's attention to the budget cuts to the Environmental Protection Agency and climate change research overall. We oppose EPA funding cuts for the following reasons. The proposed budget recommends a 31% decrease in the department's funding, the largest cut among all departments and agencies. While the President promises continued support to the states in their important role protecting air, land, and water, the budget actually cuts 40% of the funding provided to the states for environmental protection, research, and education. In fact, District 6 alone stands to lose $255.6 thousand in funding. There would be jobs lost in the district because of these cuts. We do not support returning control to a state legislature elected through gerrymandering. Environmental protection is an economic justice issue, given that the people most affected live in rural areas and are economically disadvantaged. The coal ash spill and groundwater contamination and North Carolina's government's attempts to cover up the extent of such are reasons for lack of trust for the state legislature to protect our interests and our health. We require rigorous federal standards and protections in such an atmosphere. 97% of climate researchers agree that climate change is real and man-made, yet all climate change research and education funding has been cut across all departments, including the EPA, Department of Energy, Department of State, and NASA. Additionally, the majority of Americans, including those in the GOP, believe there is solid evidence of global warming. How do you, Congressman, support your denial of climate change? What education and information do you have that leads you to believe as you do? Given the impact of increasing frequency and intensity of storms and drought, and the possibility of bringing new industry via renewable energy sources to our district, we urge you to reevaluate your stance. We are stewards of this earth, Amen. And as such have a duty to protect our clean water, land, and air, so that our children and grandchildren may enjoy the beauty and prosperity of our state long after we're gone. As such, we ask you to oppose these budget cuts and deregulation of polluting industries. We appreciate your responses to our concerns, which we will share in our weekly newsletter subscribers and with our Facebook followers. We all look forward to hearing from you. Our questions: what is your position on increased military spending and why? What is your position on funding a border wall with Mexico and why? What is your position on EPA funding cuts and why? And when do you plan to hold a town hall meeting so your constituents can hear from you and you can hear from your constituents in person? Now we're going to go in and deliver